So I took the log of both sides. Now, what I need to do next? Constance, what you think? Yeah, or we just need to get what by itself? X. I'm going to divide both sides by log of 4 and put that in your calculator. That's what I would do. Do that now. We're going to do 3 decimal places. Log 17 divided by log of 4. And I get 2.044. Okay, I want you to take a moment to look at number 3. Alright? What do you notice about number 3? What does it involve? E, that's very good. That's one clear thing I need you to notice. It's the natural exponential function, isn't it? E is not a variable. E is a number, just like pi. Now, I want you to talk in your group right now about what you think the first plan of attack would be. First thing that you need to do on this problem. Please talk now. Catherine, you can talk to Miss Naylor. I'm going to sit here because I want to hear this conversation. Caroline, what did your group say? Get E by itself. All by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Let's do that now. So I have 23 divided by 5. I have e to the x equals 4.6. What now? What? I didn't hear you. That's correct. Very good. Because it is in exponential form. Can we get the bases the same? No, we have to take the log of both sides. But in this case, we don't take the log. We take the natural log. Very good. So I'm going to bring the x down. And I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. Now, we talked about this heavily, very heavy first semester, sorry. What's the natural log of e equal to? 1. So do you have to worry about the natural log of e? No, so you can cross that out. And the reason for that is, let's review for a minute. If I have the natural log of e, what's the understood base here? No. E. E raised to what gives you e? E raised to what gives you e? E raised to what gives you e? 1, correct. That's why it's equal to 1. Do you understand that? Okay. Now, then you just type in your calculator natural log of 4.6. And I get 1.526. This stuff's not going away. You're going to be practicing this for the rest of the year. Because you got to remember, this has got to be so common to you, like 2 plus 2 is 4. You got to be able to look at one of these equations and solve it, okay? So you've got to be able to do that. Alright, let's look at number 4. First of all, determine what type of problem. Is this exponential or logarithmic? Exponential, because you have a variable in the exponent spot. So, what do I do that 1 minus 5x? I'll do what? Bring it down. And what rule allows me to do that? The power rule. The power rule allows me to bring it down. And I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. What I do unto one side, I must do unto the other. I don't have to worry about this. Natural log is 793. 6.676. Now, I just solve this like a regular equation. What would I move over first? What would I move over first? A 1. It become a negative 1. I'm going to do all my calculator and I don't have to write it down because you are in advanced PreCal now. You don't have to show me all that. I know you know how to do that. What did y'all get when you did that?
Just subtracted 1.
I subtracted 1, then divided by negative 5.
1.135.
Hold on here. Negative 1.135. Yep. We're going to come back to number 5 tomorrow because it's going to take me a little while to explain. I want to go to number 6. We did number. You should know I did number 5. All right, number 6. Gracie, what form is it in there, huh? It's in logarithm, okay? Logarithm. Let's look at that. How many logs are in the problem? 1. Is that what you want? Because you remember if they had more than 1, we had to apply the properties like multiplication and division. So you want 1. That's what I have right there. Okay? So there's 2 strategies to solve logarithmic. One was use properties. We don't need to use that here. So it's in logarithmic. I'm going to put it in what form? It's in logarithmic. I'm going to put it in what? What's the inverse? Okay, very good. So let's remember that. 4 raised to what? 3 is 64 equals x plus 5. Move that over. 59 equals x is my answer. 4 cubed is 64 equals x plus 5. Is that coming back to you? Good. All right. Put that away. We'll work on those some more tomorrow. I almost forgot it was treaty teach today. I realized it's about 8:05 today. Josh, can you help me pass these out, please? Just write your name on it. Name on it, Posky, before time starts. And you're going to put Snapchat. You want Snapchat?
I was going to the baseball channel.
Oh, you got to send a chat about some hyperbolas. You're going to keep them updated what you're learning in math. All right, write your name on it. Time starts when I say start. Start. 3 minutes. You have 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on this quiz. Chad, you want to sing birthday to you? You want to sing happy birthday to you? You sure?
We gotta get through this.
Because you're ready to leave, aren't you? So you want me to get through homework so you can go. I understand.
We gotta get it.
Oh, you're about to go for just a second. You're going to go to homework before you leave. You got time. Good. Y'all should make a late one, please. Good. Finish up the last one. I got a joke today. I'm in a joking mood today. Well, you got a joke?
Me? Interesting. You don't know why, guys.
Yours probably perverted. You said yours out loud.
Seriously.
All right. Here we go. Why don't you get your homework out now? Yesterday we started our talk on hyperbolas. We're going to continue and finish up hyperbolas today and talk about the fourth conic section, parabola, tomorrow. Okay? All right. So let's look at, how's the homework? Okay? Scott, did you do your homework?
Yes, sir, I did. Number 31. It seems like there's like something wrong.
31 or 32?
30.
I sent y'all a reminder about 32 that should have fixed it.
I got 32.
Thank you, buddy. All right, here we go. What you think about it, Matthew? I know you didn't do it. I can look at you.
No, I didn't.
What's room number, Daddy, in that? See something?
I don't know.
Oh, I have a phone. Why don't you call him and tell him?
No, seriously, no.
Woo! And Sam, I can call Coach Wilson back here. Oh my! Let me get my directory out here.
This day's been pretty bad. It's no way to get any worse.
Where's my directory? I mean, Matthew, you don't play that.
What about playing?
Here, where's? Oh, it's out of order, so.
Baseball since last then, probably like
3864 is Daddy's extension. Come here.
No.
Oh, please.
No.
Come on.
I will pay you money.
Come on. Yeah, you want to call and say, come on.
Please. This is my final plea as a senior in high school. Like, seriously.
I don't think it's gonna last.
If you miss your homework and not have one complete for the rest of the year, you're calling in. That means from this point on, do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when you get home at night, guess whose homework you're doing first?
Sir, what?
Come on.
KJ said something. I know he.
Don't you blame it on Mama Student KJ.
All right, so.
If you miss my homework one more day, you're making that phone call. So when you get home, you're not calling the girl from Calera, Alabama. You're going to be calling Mr. Hess's homework, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
I'm at 95% patience, but I have no mercy right now. Got me?
Yes, sir.
You got to be a grown man. You're not yet grown. But you got to be in about a few months. Try me again. Turn around. You get on a smirk. You got to answer every question I ask you. I love the new use of phones. Oh, where's my homework at? I'm going to call him this morning and ask him what his opinion is on the matter. So,
Please don't.
all right, number 28. Let's look at number 28. Compare your work to that. I know that's whole. I'm not going to go through every step. I'm going to pick out some key points. I'm going to work the 32 with you to see that, but look at number 28. Yes.
Do you want us to label if it's horizontal or vertical?
No, you don't have to. That can just be a side note. If you need to.
We needed to label it horizontal or vertical orientation.
You do need to label your equations for your asymptotes, okay? We know this is horizontal because your x squared comes first. And in the hyperbola, your a squared always comes what, guys? First. Very good. How do you know how to write your equations of your asymptotes? The part associated with the what? Y is on the numerator and the x is in the denominator. I'm going to come around and check your homework in just a minute. Are there any questions on 28? Let's look at 29. Take a moment. It was almost in standard form, but it was not in standard form because it's not set equal to 1. So I divide everything by 36. By 36. Now, how could this one be trickier, guys?
Y's first.
Y's first. Very good. Because Mr. Fisher almost did the same thing first. He almost put 1, 3, but I had to look. That's Y value, so he had to put 1 and 3. Does everybody please be careful on that, okay? Please, 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 please be careful on that. All right, your a squared always comes first, so a squared is 9, therefore a is equal to 3, b squared is 4, b is equal to 2. My asymptotes is y equals plus or minus. The one associated with y is 3 over 2x. Your center, since it's vertical, that means I'm going to take my a value and go up and down since it's vertical orientation. So I went up 3, down 3, and then do my asymptotes. Okay. One of these I graphed wrong. I graphed number 30 wrong, but check your information. It was supposed to be -3, 1. I went -3, -1. So just check this information here. Sorry about that, guys. So, Mr. Fisher, this is y equals plus or minus 2/4. Can I reduce it? Yes. You could have left it 2/4 or 1/2, and you got the same equations for that stuff. Either way. I'm sorry about the graph being wrong. Yes, the graph is. I'm gonna let you see the third one. Guys, you know how I did on last Friday when we had the conics test? I did a homework check and I checked that page for completion. That's what I'm doing this Friday too. Okay. So if you happen to not have 1 or 2 of those homework problems, it better all be done by what day? Friday. Who's your favorite teacher? Mr. Esther. All right, let's look at 31. This was nowhere near standard form, so I had to group my x's together. I'm not going to work this one out. You can check my work, but I'm going to work number 32 out with you, okay? So I had to group my x's together, and I took a 9 out right there. Grouped my y's together, took a -4 out. Now, why did I keep x first? Because it appeared in the problem first, okay? It appeared in the problem first. Okay? Are there any questions down to this part of how I got the equation? Please ask if there are any questions. Yes, there are. How did I get that 9 there? Let's look here. Okay. I got 4 over 36. I just reduced the fraction there. Took a 4 out of it. Yes, Kayla.
You do have on page 19. Oh, that turned in.
Okay, on that one. I just got you note page 1. Because you were worried about that too. All right. Now, are there any questions about the center? 2, 1. The A value 2, B is B. B is 3. Sorry. The one associated with Y comes on top, 3 over 2. I plot my center first. I use my A value. Have a good birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm going to move right 2, left 2. That's how I got my vertices. And then I use my equation for my asymptotes to get my dashed lines, and I graph my hyperbola. Mr. Bird, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do 32 together. All right, number 32. Number 32 is 25y squared minus 9x squared minus 50y minus 54x. That's what I told you change in your remind. Matthew, did you open the remind?
Yes.
Did you? Okay. It had negative 52 in your homework. It's negative. Let's make it work with negative 54. So what will be the first thing I do here? Christian, what would be the first thing I do here, buddy?
You would,
Will you look at that phone?
no,
Christian, what would be the first thing you do here, buddy?
you would group the X and Y together.
Very good. Will, how do I know which variable I'm going to put first, buddy?
The y squared is first.
Very good, both y'all. I'm going to keep the y's grouped first, okay? I'm going to make you call your daddy at the end of class, but you know what you're going to say? Daddy, I just want to tell you Mr. Esther's my favorite teacher for being so patient and kind to me throughout the 2 years I've taught, that he's taught me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just picking with you, but you kind of said that with a smirk. Don't test me now, big boy. Don't test me, because I can act a fool. Act a fool up in here. Yes, Scotty.
For that notebook, check your group. Is that just 28 through 53? Or
Whatever problems I assign you off the back, page 10. You're not going to do all of them, but for the most part, page 10 will be completed by Friday if you're doing your homework every night. All right, so let's group our y's. That negative 281 becomes a positive 281. All right, now what can I take out of this first part here, Mary Catherine? Very good. Jennifer, what can I take out of here, hon?
9.
Would I take out a negative 9 or positive 9? Negative 9. That's how you're going to get your minus there. Now I'm ready to complete the square, okay? What's half of negative 2, class? Negative 1. Negative 1 squared is? Positive 1. If I add 1 here, well, I add 1 here, I add 25. 25 because that'll multiply by there. Alright, half of 6 is? 3 squared is? 9 times negative 9 is? Very good. Now let's clean it up. Okay. Now, it's almost a standard form. What's keeping it from not being a standard form? It's not set to equal to 1, so I'm going to divide everything by what? 225. Thank goodness that 25 and 9 goes into 225. 25 goes into 225 9 times. I got y minus 1 squared over 9. 9 goes in that 25 times. Equals 1. What's my center for this hyperbola? Be careful. What's my center? Negative 3, 1. X value's over here. Your a squared always comes what? First, so a squared is 9, therefore a is what? 3. My b squared is 25, therefore my b is 5. Very good. Let's go and find my asymptote equation. Y equals plus or minus. Which one's associated with y? Which one of these associated with y? 3 or 5? Do y'all all see that 3 is associated with this right here? So I'm going to put 3 over 5x. Don't miss that. If you have a question, let's ask it, okay? Now I'm ready to graph it. Alright, so I graph my center first, negative 3, 1. I only use my a value to graph. Now this is a vertical, so does that mean I'm going right, left, or up and down? Up and down. I'm going to go up 3 and down 3. There's my vertices. Now I'm going to use my equation of my asymptote, starting at my center, up 3 over 5. The negative. Label the equation. And then draw your curves. Yep. Are there any questions on your homework? This is our last set of hyperbolas, Mars parabolas, our fourth conic section. Your test on Friday, 12 questions. Yes. Whichever part's associated with the y comes in the numerator and the x part's in the denominator. Like right here, I look at y, this was the 9, I go with that in the numerator and that in the denominator. It's the 8, this part, not the squared part, this part over there, right? Alright, today our goal is I can write an equation on hyperbola. We're going to write an equation on hyperbola. So I want us to continue this on page 6 in your notes. Please turn to page 6. It says write an equation of hyperbola given the following info. Guys, I normally have to sketch a graph to see these because it's just better as a visual. All right, let's look here. Number 7. Sketch me a little graph right here. You can do this on your paper. I'm just doing it on graph paper so you can easily see it. That was Coach Henry right there. That was my missed opportunity. Number 7. You have your vertices at 0, 2, and 0, negative 2. So that piece of information right there, what does that tell you? That is what? Centers at the origin. And what's the other piece of information? It's vertical. Okay. Your vertices in the hyperbola and the foci will be on the major axis, okay? So there's my vertices. My foci are right here. And then my centers right here. Okay? Now, since it's vertical, am I going to write my x or my y first? Y. Remember, don't put plus. That's ellipse. We're doing minus. This is hyperbola. That's why that test was so hard when it's all together. Equals 1. So since the center is at 0, I got y squared minus x squared. There's no parentheses, so the center is at 0, 0. The reason y comes first in this case is because it is a vertical orientation situation. Okay? Now, remember, what always comes first here? Your what value? A squared. A squared is the distance from the center to one of the vertices. So, starting here, how far is that? Remember, okay, don't get, that's your own. Let's do this, because you're going to get confused. This is foci, focus. This is a vertex, okay? If you need a label. And, okay, in a hyperbola, it's kind of weird. You know how in the ellipse, the foci was within the vertices? Well, in a hyperbola, they're on the outside, so don't let that confuse you. Alright, so, how far is it from the center to one of these vertices? 2. What's 2 squared? 4. So we know that a squared is 4. B comes next, but we kind of have no idea what's going on in B. Well, what piece of information do you think we could use here to find B?
A squared and C squared.
A squared and C squared to find B squared, couldn't you? Okay, C is the distance from the center to one of the foci. How far is it from the center to one of these? 4. What's 4 squared? 16. Remember, our foci equation for hyperbola is c squared equals what? A squared plus b squared. We know c and we know a, so let's plug it in. 12 equals b squared. We want b squared, so that is 12. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. In hyperbola, it's a squared plus b squared. In ellipse, it was a squared minus b squared. Okay, so this is plus. I'm so glad we split this test up, because could you imagine all the ellipse and hyperbola together? Yes.
Okay, so for a squared, you use the vertices.
Yes, A is the distance from the center to the vertex. C is the distance from the center to one of the foci. Okay? All right, let's look at number 8. We have the focus at -4, 0, so let's graph that. I'm a visual. I have to draw me a picture, guys. I know some of you might say, Mr. I don't want to draw that. Well, then you don't have to.
And if you give us an equation like that where it's 12 as the denominator, would you just want us to take the square root of it?
I'm not going to give you one. That's the only time you're going to see is when you write them, okay? All right. So your focus is right here. I'm going to let that focus just so you can see what's going on. Okay, and it says the vertex is at -4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and -4, 2. Okay. That's the focus. These are vertices. Where's your center always going to be? In between the two what? In between the two what? Vertices. So can you clearly see where the center's at? This is the center right here. Center is -4, 3. And by looking at all this, before we even determine the center, what orientation is this? Vertical. It's clearly vertical, isn't it? Okay, so is X or Y coming first? Y. So let's go and do that part of the equation. So Y, what do I put in here with Y? Do I put -4 or 3? 3 minus X plus 4. That's opposite of what you see. Oh, got to put those squares. So I got my top of my equation. Now I got to worry about my denominator. My denominator. A always comes first. What is the definition A? From the vertice to the center. How far away is the vertice from the center? What's 1 squared? 1. So you put 1 right here. So A squared is equal to 1. We need to find B squared, but we don't have any idea about that. But what piece of information do we have? We have C. How far is C from the center? The focus, how far from the center? 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? So C squared is equal to 9. The focus is 3 units from the center. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to use that equation. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. 9 equals 1 plus B squared. 8 equals B squared. So I'll put an 8 right there. How do I find the center over here? Okay, these are my two vertices. My center is always in between, so I just, what's that? Right there.
How did you find the 1 under the line?
Right here. Okay, A always goes first. A is the distance from the center to one of the vertices. That's 1 unit. Then you square it. 1 squared is 1. That's where you put your A squared. All right, let's look at number 9. We have that the vertices it says the vertices are at 1, 0 and -1, 0. Okay? So I'm going to go and label my vertices. 1, 0 and -1, 0 right there. Well, when I look at the vertices, they're on the what type of axis? Horizontal, aren't they? So this is what type of orientation? Horizontal. Would you put your X or Y's first? X. Very good. Now, the center is in between the two vertices. What's clearly in between those two? 0, 0. It's at the origin. So I can go and write X squared minus Y squared equals 1. And I need to put X first because it is a horizontal hyperbola. Now, looking at that, your A is the distance from the center to one of the vertices. How far is that? 1 unit, isn't it? What's 1 squared? 1. Now, let's look at this. They give you this equation. Remember, the equation is made up of an A and a B value, isn't it? I got plus or minus 5x. That's 5 over what? 1. Hadn't you just use 1? The top number is associated with the Y value. So what's your B value equal to?
25.
Not B squared. I'm asking for B. B is equal to 5. Squared is what? So you put 25 under Y. I'm going to go back through that. Hold on. They tell you the asymptote is plus or minus 5x. And you know that in that equation you have an A and a B value. Okay? You know in the numerator that value is associated with Y. So in the numerator is 5. Okay, that's not going to be under here, but 5 you got to square it first because you want the B squared. 5 squared is 25. Does that make sense? Yes.
So on the test, are we going to have to show you in the graph also, like what we're doing? We just have to write it.
Yeah.
You're just showing us the...
I'm just showing you because I have to draw it to see it.
Alright.
Yeah. All right, number 10. Last one for the day. Number 10. Okay, let's graph it. My vertices are at -2, -2. Oh, change that to 6, -2, 6, okay? Not -2, 7, -2, 6. Okay, so first thing, I just graphed those two things. What orientation is that? Vertical. So is your X or Y is coming first?
Y.
Okay, let's find our center. Ready? You see right there the center? So I'm going to put a dot right there. So my center's at -2, 2. Okay, since it's vertical, I'm going to write y minus 2 squared minus x plus 2 squared equals 1. What did I do wrong? Because your y's got to come first. Remember, your a squared comes first. A is the distance from the center to the vertice. How far is it from the center to one of the vertices? 4. What's 4 squared? 16, okay? Now, let's look at our equation they give us. Which one's associated with y in this formula? Number in the numerator, which is what?
4.
What's 4 squared?
16.
Hadn't you already used that?
Yes.
So what's your B value?
3.
3 squared is?
9.
9. You put 9 down, and that's your answer. That's as hard as it gets. 4/3 from? It's in the problem. Y'all feel okay? I need a hand signal. Let me feel. Okay, I feel like this room's good. I want to review a little bit tomorrow. But tomorrow we're doing parabolas, okay? But you need to be studying this. Most of your tests is hyperbolas. So, yes. Yes, sir. Oh, homework's page 10, 33 through 38. Through 38. Somebody tell me, hey guys, listen, hold on. 33 through 38. One of my first peers said 33 is kind of weird. I'm going to work it later and see if it is, okay? Alright guys, I asked Sam to kind of share this story. He came in this morning, getting ready for his circle quiz, already so pumped up. He studied the wrong unit. He was looking at circles from the polar coordinate unit. That's okay, Sam. Good. I said, you're in the wrong divider, Sam. Wrong divider. Wrong. Okay, y'all have a great day. Walker?
Yes. Homework will be in your house.
Not just that homework, that one.
Every homework.
Also,
Yeah.
And you're going to make at least a 95 on test Friday before you call your daddy.
it's on.
Yes, huh?
Hangers and no dough.
Who did say the thing? Was that just me?
I took a fail
Have a good one.
That was nice.
They brought in the homework tonight.
I'm at 88 on the last test.
What's the homework tonight?
Who pitches for Hoover?
Scott Elgin.
Scott Elgin? That kid's a wank.
He's a white.
He's weird.
He's bad.
Scotty won.
It's not Scotty Lane.
Sonny?
I don't want to throw this away. I think I drink it.
I am so glad I thought about calling Coach Walker. I'm going to use that. You have comments? Hypebolas, something, podcast.